20% of the league are free agents. Like, everyone timed their contracts. Everybody signed 1-year deals, and everyone timed their contracts to coincide with this new CBA. So literally, there's not even really any teams. There's only like 20% of the league.
Ladies and gentlemen, stop whatever you are doing and listen to the sheer insanity that was just confirmed on national television. We've been covering the WNBA collective bargaining disaster for weeks, talking about the greed, jealousy, and infighting. But now ESPN's Ramona Shelburne went on the Rich Eisen show and dropped a nuclear bomb exposing the true chaos behind the scenes. This isn't just a labor dispute anymore. It's a hostage situation. 80% of the WNBA is currently unemployed. Yes, you heard that right. 80% of professional basketball players in the league do not have a team. This was coordinated. A mass expiration of contracts designed to force the owner's hands, creating a scenario where the league literally doesn't have enough contracted players to hold a game. It's a manufactured crisis, pushing the sport to the brink of destruction. If you thought the WNBPA posting Valentine's Day poems was embarrassing, wait until you hear the logistical nightmare they've intentionally created. According to Shelburne, the players' union told members to sign 1-year deals last season, betting on themselves and planning to cash out simultaneously when the Caitlin Clark money came in. The problem with this game of financial chicken is that eventually someone has to swerve. And right now, nobody is. There are 2 brand new expansion teams in Toronto and Portland. And guess how many players are on their rosters? 0. The expansion draft, meant to celebrate the growth of women's basketball, can't happen because there is no collective bargaining agreement. You can't draft players into a system that doesn't exist or sign free agents without a defined salary cap. The WNBA's entire infrastructure has been frozen by a union holding out for a fantasy payday. Adding insult to injury, Shelburne revealed that the league recently released a regular season schedule, which many saw and assumed meant the season was on. But do not be fooled. The schedule release was not progress. It was desperation. The league blinked, and the reason they had to is utterly pathetic.
We're getting close here, Rich. I mean, I thought it was interesting the league put out a schedule, because one of the pressure points I had been hearing was literally arena dates. You know how this goes. Like, if you don't have your dates on the schedule, they give them away to some concert. They give them away to some circus that comes to town, or they give them away to anybody else who wants to use the arena. Arenas cannot have open dates. And if you want those open dates, you gotta lock those in. So the league went forward with the idea of let's do the schedule, even though we don't even know who's on what team. And I thought that was a blink.
Did you hear that? The WNBA had to release a fake schedule for teams that don't even have rosters yet, just to prevent their arenas from being booked by the circus. I'm not making this up. The premier women's basketball league in the world, the league that houses Caitlin Clark, Aya Wilson, and Sabrina Ionescu, is actively competing with traveling clown shows and monster truck rallies for arena availability. And because the players' union is dragging their feet, with Breanna Stewart and Nneka Ogwumike demanding 30% of gross revenue from a league that has lost money for 30 years, the owners had to panic publish a schedule just to keep the lights on in their own buildings. It's amateur hour on steroids. The union wants to be treated like the NBA. They want private jets and max contracts, but NBA arenas don't bum LeBron James or the Ringling Brothers. This is what happens when ambition outpaces reality. The players are demanding billion-dollar respect while operating a business still fighting for scraps. And that brings us to the elephant in the room, the one thing that actually matters. Rich Eisen, a veteran broadcaster who has seen every labor dispute in modern sports, cut through all the noise and reminded everyone why anyone is even paying attention to this league right now.
I don't mean to be flippant, but again, there's a golden goose that's getting more valuable here. And, and stars, I mean, Juju Watkins is going to be healthy. Like, this is rubber meeting the road here.
This is where the rubber meets the road. The golden goose, Caitlin Clark, is the single most valuable asset the WNBA has ever had. And Rich Eisen said it perfectly. The union is playing a dangerously reckless game with her. Clark has brought millions of new viewers, sellout crowds, and massive TV deals. But those fans are loyal to her, not the WNBA shield. If the union forces a lockout and May arrives without Clark hitting logo threes on television, those fans will leave. And once you lose a casual American sports fan, it's nearly impossible to get them back. Yet the union leadership blinded by jealousy and greed, genuinely believe the audience will wait while they fight over revenue sharing. Veterans with a decade in the league who have never drawn a dime of profit claim, they grew the game while orchestrating an 80% free agency stunt that holds Clark's sophomore season hostage. Ramona Shelburne warns that the real pressure point is March, when the league must finalize a salary cap, hold expansion drafts for Toronto and Portland, negotiate contracts for 80% of players, conduct collegiate draft, and open training camps, a logistical impossibility in mere weeks. Even if a deal is signed tomorrow, free agency chaos will be unprecedented. 100 players scrambling for roster spots, general managers try and build chemistry with players they met a day prior, and the on-court product suffering because the union played hardball in February. Leadership, including Nneka Ogwumike, Breanna Stewart, and Nafisa Collier, can afford to miss paychecks thanks to overseas contracts and endorsements, but rookies and bubble players, whose livelihoods depend on WNBA minimums, face devastating consequences. Adam Silver sees this, issuing an 11th-hour warning. Delay this into a lockout and the Golden Goose and billions in TV contract from Disney, Amazon, and NBC are dead. The WNBA was handed a lottery ticket in Caitlin Clark, and all they had to do was cash it. Sign a reasonable collective bargaining agreement. Secure salary increases the owners already offered and play basketball. But ego got in the way. Veterans couldn't stomach a system built around a rookie, so they made 80% of the league free agents, held arenas hostage, and made the league look like a joke on national television. Fans should brace for the real possibility that the 2026 season will be delayed or even canceled. The rhetoric is hardening. The owners backed by Silver will not cave, and we are witnessing an unstoppable force of greed collide with an immovable object of financial reality. The Golden Goose is ready to lay the golden egg, but right now the WNBPA is holding a knife to its throat. Arenas are booked, schedules are fake, and teams are empty. Welcome to the 11th hour of the WNBA, where the only certainty is absolute, unmitigated disaster.